Hey, it's time. And it's time again.
What happened?
Time and time again.
Wait, I hear something.
There it is.
It's all about art, all about art, all about art. With David Reed, Tom Galvin, and Joe Moye.
I don't know why.
Welcome to All About Art, everyone. That was Joe Moye, a Joe Moye production.
Impressive, very impressive.
And so thank you guys for being here today. Thanks Shantae for engineering, and our special guest today is Kelly Ridge Creek, who's going to tell us what she's doing to support the arts and to give them a showcase to hang their work, sell their work, and encourage other artists. So it's going to be a good show today. What's been going on with you guys?
Busy
Yeah,
weekend. I know for us with the world premiere of Mike Elkin's film Killing Digby. Had a great opening night Friday night, not so much Saturday night, but people came out and on the big 22-foot screen at the Sutter Theater Center for the Arts with a re-engineered sound system. You know, we're actually using the original Voice of the Theater speakers from the movie theater.
The ones in the back behind the screen?
Yep, absolutely. Our technician in residence, Chris Bolton, has put them back together, and there were some little issues he had to repair, and they're hooked up now so that when you're watching that whatever film, you're hearing the original Voice of the Theater speakers, which it turns out are highly collectible and sought after. They're worth thousands of dollars. So, and then he's working on for content that has a really sophisticated sound track built into it. We'll have actual surround sound in the next couple of weeks. So if we're showing a major production that's got that sound built in, you're going to be sitting like you're in the biggest, fanciest Cinemark theater. Nothing against the Cinemark. We're not going to be showing first-run films. But anyway, lots more film screenings coming up at the Sutter Theater.
Well, you know, if you could maybe have Chris, because my friend Ed, who reached out to you, Ed Hudson, we're already working on a couple of different ideas for next year's film festival. So if we would know what kind of sound we need to use, that would be a great tip.
We'd be happy to coordinate. We'll put together like a spec sheet or something to let filmmakers know what's available. And if you have that ability to do that,
Thank you.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
New dimension in the art scene in Sutter, Yuba.
We're just growing every day.
Well, it's our, consider it our little art house, if you will, for, filmmakers and others. Private film screenings. We're talking about a lot of ideas for, film events, things that people might come out for. I mean, you can sit at home and watch pretty much anything ever made at home, but there's something about that communal experience of sitting in an audience and laughing together or sharing that cinematic experience. Not a lot of people have a 22-foot screen at home. So
I'm really glad Mike got to do that. He came to the Sutter Theater 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Just prior to COVID. And we were going to put it on as a live event. He had all the actors together. And then
he was telling that story Friday night. That was fascinating.
Yeah. I was listening. Yeah. We were going to do it, and then COVID just shut it down. So then he even talked to me about the film portion because of the screen in there. So I'm really glad he finally got to debut that thing. Was it almost exactly 2 years ago?
Yeah, so crazy. He said they filmed it like in 48 hours in a home.
Yeah, because all of his kids were going off to college.
Oh,
so
that's right. A lot of young people in the show.
Yeah, a lot of young people.
I think a little shout out to Sean Harris for all he's done to engender this movie, this video spirit in our town. He's been a kicker in this, so hats off to him.
I know several people, including Ed and I, who are working on stuff for next year already. Yeah. We're already starting to think of it. Good. So
that's good,
Sean.
That's
Thanks.
Good.
Music, theater, art. I mean, filmmaking. It's just it's all happening here in Yuba Sutter.
It definitely is.
But wait, there's more. How about Tom Galvin, our resident weirdo, and his weirdo news?
Thank you, Joe. I thought you'd never ask. Sometimes, this is called weird news, bad lines. Sometimes, I'm not reading this. I'm just looking up at my wall because this is such a no. Here we go. Weird news, bad lines. Sometimes we watch movies that catch us up and we don't pay attention to the fact that the quality of the script and the dialogue kind of suck. I talked our crack team. We've got the crack team of researchers that I send out on various tasks, and so they followed up on a survey of bad movie lines, and the team. Well, you've never met the team. I've never met the team either, but they came back with some very positive results. Too many to mention, so I'm just selecting the following lines from movies that I thought were less than good. When Agent Sands, so this is Agent Sands asked Kukai this very important question in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. There you go, right there. Are you a Mexican? Are you a Mexicant? in 50 Shades of Grey, when Christian says, "It's just behind the door," and Anastasia asks, "Wait a minute, what does she ask?" Anastasia, of course she asks, "What is?" and he tells her, "My playroom." And she asks the penetrating question, "Like your Xbox and stuff?" Now this may not be all that funny, but Julia Roberts, okay, she's playing Anna in Notting Hill, a world famous, internationally renowned actress, multi-million-dollar actress, top of the game. She falls in love with Hugh Grant, who manages a bookstore. So right off the bat, you've got a reality-based problem with this movie. Because basically she was playing herself, and I've noticed that she's never married a bookstore manager. She's married wealthy men, and so or movie stars or whatever. Anyway, this is Julia Roberts playing Anna in Notting Hill, uttered this line to Hugh Grant: "I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her."
Ouch.
Yeah, ham-fisted.
I still love that. I still love that movie, though. So.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun movie. These are all fun. They might all be fun movies. It's just something for me to make fun of. When Anakin and this pickup line from Anakin in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clowns. I didn't know there was an Attack of the Clowns, but here's the pickup line. "I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. But not like you. You're everything soft and smooth." Now, I remember when I first met Gay, the first thing I did was compare her favorably to sand. I said, what? I like you. Right off the bat, I can tell I like you better than sand. So yeah, it's typical that people would say that. So we've got Draco and Harry. Draco, the little blonde, blue-eyed Nazi kid in the Harry Potter movies. And Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the bad kid says to Harry, "Scared Harry?" They're about to face off. They're going to duke it out. "Scared Harry?" And Harry says, "You wish." And Harry has all the aggressive presence of a choir boy or a chipmunk. They give him a Clint Eastwood line. So when Harley Quinn says this cheesy line in Suicide Squad: "Normal is a setting on the dryer."
I prefer hot.
When Storm shared this very insightful fact in X-Men, and this is really unarguable. Do you know what happens when a toad is struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everybody else.
Wait, that's Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. He goes deep. He goes
real deep.
He goes very deep. I got a couple more. In Spider-Man 3, when Peter put on a dance performance at MJ's, snaps his fingers, stands up and shouts, "Now dig on this." Who says that? "Now dig on this." Finally, Here's an exchange between Jacob and Bella in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. He says, from the beginning, it was Nessie who wanted to be there. She wanted to be with me. She says, Nessie, you nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Oh my goodness. Good stuff, Tom.
So we've got this summary song called Who Wrote That Garbage? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Script writers used to know their business. They go out and dance with their muse. Make my may the force be with you. Go ahead, make my day. Great movie lines stick like glue. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. We're not in Kansas anymore. You're going out a youngster, but you'll come back a star. Multi-million-dollar movies, effects, car wrecks, fires light the night. Oh, why can't they free up some money? Someone who knows how to write.
All right. Yes, sir.
Bravo, Tom.
All right, weird news for another show.
Too much fun.
I think we're at about 137 weird newses now. So
We gotta put these together.
yeah,
And feel free to reprise some of your favorites from
Yeah.
the
I
last
always
couple of years.
think of the banana art, the banana
Yeah,
on the board.
That
Hey, open
That was a great one. That was a great one. Great. Tom Galvin's
fun.
Greatest Hits, Album 3.
Yeah, that would be something we'll work on. We'll get right on it. Let me
All right,
put
you
that
got
on
a
my
month now
calendar.
to come up with the next one. You got any
Yeah.
ideas, or you
No, I
looking for
didn't
inspiration?
didn't have any ideas this time. I just, and when I've got a month, it's like if I don't have an idea, it's like, oh, no big deal. I got a month, and then I have a day left, and I still have no ideas. So,
Maybe something. Think about something on a Western film theme. We hosted an incredible event yesterday at the Art Gallery in Marysville at Yuba Sutter Arts with our Western artist friend Jeff Wolf and his wife Jennifer, who came down from Spanish Fork, Utah. He's the designated sculptor that's going to create the Cotton Rosser tribute statue. 1.25 times life size, 7 tons of bronze that'll be sitting in the Plaza Park just to the right of the Silver Dollar Saloon. So we're Yuba Sutter Arts is proud to be the kind of the coordinating committee group that's trying to make it happen. And so we had a kickoff fundraiser event last night, had about 100 people come through, and Jeff came in, had the model that we're going to be sharing on Facebook and other places of what the statue is going to look like, and the detail and the likeness of Cotton Rosser was pretty amazing. So, and he had some of his other work too, bronzes and some resin casts of some of his other sculptures, and just beautiful work. So
things are moving forward in terms of honoring Cotton Rosser. What are there still upcoming events happening?
Nothing currently scheduled. The committee's going to meet later this week. Kind of look at where we are, and it's a heavy lift. Some folks are definitely kicking in some bucks to make this happen. This is a huge project. This is a $270,000 budgeted project. So, all privately funded. So we're game, and we're going to give it our best shot. And some people are really stepping up to make it happen. So it's important, I think, to create this honorarium for this great man in the community that's meant so much to Marysville and even greater Yuba Sutter. And he's such a huge presence in the whole rodeo world. And I mean, Western culture is kind of part of what we're about. So
here's a chorus of the only cowboy song I know.
Oh,
why do they ride for the money? Why do they rope for short pay? They ain't getting nowhere, and they're losing their share.
Wow.
Well, they must have gone crazy out there, but they've never seen the northern lights. They've never seen the hawk on the wing. They ain't never seen spring hit the Great Divide, and they ain't never heard old Camp Cookie sing.
Oh.
Little cowboy song and dedicated to Cotton Rosser, who I don't know, but who I pay tribute to with that little chorus of a Jerry Jeff Walker's song.
Is that Jerry Jeff? Oh my
Jerry
God, that's
Jeff
why it
Walker.
sounded familiar. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Love that. Mr. Bojangles, right?
Yes, yeah, no, that was
that him?
Oh yeah, that was him. You're right.
I'm
You're
pretty
right.
sure
I was
Mr.
thinking-
Bojangles was
they
Jerry
said-
Jeff.
The
The
Dirt Band had,
Dirt Band, yeah.
yeah, they had the hit, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I love Mr. Van. Yeah, I've got the vinyl of Jerry Jeff doing that. I got to see if
Wow.
that cowboy song is on there because it sounded familiar.
So
Thank you,
yeah.
Tom.
Oh yeah. So
All right.
we
What's
have
next?
a wonderful guest.
Hey,
All right. Bring her on.
Kelly Rich Creek, thank
There
you
she
so
is.
much for joining us today.
yeah.
Welcome. Welcome.
You're in your studio, correct? Right now?
I'm at the Artist Nook, downtown, historical downtown Marysville.
First of all, Kelly, it's a great thing, and you're sponsoring a lot of artists, giving artists a chance to hang their work, sell their work, get some notice, and encourage artists around town. So we know that that's the basis of what you're doing. But first of all, the location. First, let people know where you are. It's on D. Can you give us the address and the location?
It's on 4th Street in downtown, right off of D Street, a block from D. So it's 412 4th Street.
Okay.
So
Okay.
our location is where the territorial dispatch used to be. We're in that unit of the building. And Sew and Peace is on one side of us, and the other side is 414 Gallery and Studios.
And across the street is the Hart Building, so you can't miss the tallest building
Yes.
in Marysville. It's
Right.
across the street from your studio.
And right next to Sears Central Bank.
So
Yeah, you've created such a neat little art enclave there with Vivian and the quilt shop. And if folks haven't been in there, and as far as I'm concerned, quilts are works of art as well. And then Kelly, you've got the Artist Nook in the middle space, and then you mentioned the 414 Gallery to the right. So your whole building is become an art center.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Viviane Riley is the one that started Sew and Peace, and she is was an inspiration because she had a vision 5 years ago of what to do with that. She wanted to find a place. She's always been a quilter. She's a retired principal of a school, is what she.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, fun.
Yeah. And she had this vision to start a place for community for women or women, not just women, I shouldn't say just women, for anyone who wants to learn to sew or even work on quilts, or quilters that have been doing it for years. And she's like, I just want a place for people to come together and work. And I don't know if you've been to the shop, but she's totally done that. And she's created quite a great community there. And she's managed to, make it through our pandemic, which is amazing.
yeah, I played her opening day. I played music
really?
for her opening day. I was background
Wow.
musician. She is not only a very talented person in her artistic field, but a retired teacher. She's been an asset to this community for a long time, and now she's a businesswoman, and she's just great. She's a great person. And also, you mentioned Tina Linville involved in this. Anything you want to say about her, Kelly?
Yeah. So Tina, it was inspirational. I met her because she was looking for a place to have a gallery, her and some other artists. And she's now still running the gallery next door, which of course, a lot of it had to be closed down during the pandemic, but they're now doing shows again. And she's been such an inspiration as well. And the three of us, we thought, wouldn't it be great, instead of just renting the middle unit out to an office or something like that, why not create something exciting like the arts?
Wow.
Art everywhere, right, Dave?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Well, kind of still.
We said, let's just try it. And we started it as a pop-up business to only sell things here that are made by our local artists, by Yuba Sutter artists in any of the counties. So we have a select few. I mean, we just started with ones that I really valued and admired their work, and we just have a small, but we want to grow. We also just started doing classes as well. So we want to not only sell, but we believe in teaching people art, and not just fine arts, but crafts. So really believe that craft is a bit important to be a well-rounded person. I think we need all of it, right?
And you talked about vibrancy. To bring some vibrancy was part of the purpose of purchasing the building, to bring building and entrepreneurship here. That was kind of your original vision, and it's like exactly. I can use this building and have an outlet for artists. So
Yeah.
you are an entrepreneur and also an art patron, in a sense.
Yeah, that's actually the reason I bought the building in 2013 was I thought, it'd be so cool to be part of, making a better, vibrant downtown Marysville. I just always thought that's what drew me to move here was the cute little quaint town that we have in historic Marysville. We have some of the wonderful historic buildings. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could, buy one of these old buildings and just, work on it. I don't know if you saw it before I got it, but it did need quite a bit of TLC.
Yeah,
Still working on that. Yeah. And so you remember it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the reason I bought it. So, if you own the building, then you can kind of control, what goes in there. And, it's so nice what it is. So I'm thinking if we had art and craft in all three places, we should just rename it Artists and Marketplace, the building. It was actually built by the Schneiders, though a little history. I don't know if you guys want me to tell a little history.
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
So it was built in 1923 by two brothers and the Schneider brothers, who actually people are watching that know the history. They also had Schneider's clothing, and another building. It wasn't this building, but this was amazingly built. They tore down Arlington House, which is like a boarding house. They tore it down in, I want to say it was, I'm trying to remember, November. And anyways, they had this brick building built in like 2 months time period. It's just crazy. It was grand opening. What happened in December? I think they tore it down in August. Yeah, that's what it was, August. And it was grand opening in the paper. 3 businesses were already in it.
By December?
In December, yep.
Wow.
And it was a florist shop. And, it's funny, the Sew and Peace place at one time housed the Singer Sewing Company. So I thought, apropos that Viviane, shop, Sew and Peace was a Singer sewing place.
Wow. That's interesting.
I love when the world, when that all works together.
Yeah, and the gallery, now Tina Linville, that know her, has her master's in fine arts, but she specializes in fiber arts. And actually that building used to be Kilgallen. Wait, I can't remember. It was a dry goods store, but they sold fabric. They sold materials, that's where people went to buy things. So they sold swatches of fabric. So I thought that was pretty neat to learn that.
So that's some pretty interesting history there, but what's the current vision now, Kelly?
So right now we just see it for this particular one, the Artist Nook, is in the front, we have it set up as a retail shop. It's a darling shop. A lot of people don't know we're here yet. We have a variety of things for people to buy for gifts or for their own use. We have not just fine arts, like I said, but we do have wonderful paintings, both in acrylic, watercolor, oils, and we have fused glass artists. I don't know if you want to, I can go into that later, but the vision you asked me about was just to do that and then to provide classroom. So classes to teach a variety of things, not just fine arts, but I would like to find somebody to teach soldering is one of the things.
Soldering, yeah. Different forms, different ways to think of art is my first thought. And I know I've seen some great sculpture work where soldering is key to it, but you're kind of saying, what's the basis of some of this artwork? How do we help people start from the ground up? If you can't solder, you can't sculpt a lot of things. And so these things we think of as skills or as trades also are components in the creation of artwork. So the classes, you talking about classes?
One of the artists does fused glass, Jan Frink, and you're probably familiar with Jan Frink's work, but I've always admired her. She actually started out, she did more welding with glass. Now she's doing really focused and really doing some incredible things with fused glass and creating all kinds of beautiful art. So come in, I mean, from jewelry, earrings, earrings to garden art to
Wall
plate,
hangings. Yeah,
and
she does
teaching
amazing
others
stuff.
to do it. So what a great idea for a holiday gift. Make somebody's beautiful serving plate, or buy one of hers if you don't want to take the class. But yeah, I think that we need it, to just try to focus on buying local too this time of year. I saw a post on Facebook. Did you guys see that post by Chuck Smith? What did it say about our local artists aren't stuck on cargo ships?
Yeah,
Oh,
So
exactly.
we have all these great gifts here. Let's buy from our local artists and craftspersons,
There's not a supply chain
makers.
with you guys. There is no supply chain. Just walk into the store, buy what you need.
we're well supplied with art here in the community. We agree.
Yeah, that was the other thing that that inspired me to do this was I had read the book. Have you guys? He's more about history, but Glenn Adamson. Are you
Don't
familiar?
know the name. I'm not.
He wrote a book last year called Craft, an American history of craft, and it talks about the importance of craft. And I have to say I agree with a lot of the things that he says, but it's just buying, we need to, instead of buying a bunch of cheap things, just, and you can't afford a lot, just buy one nice thing.
Yeah.
And it just would really help make us more sustainable and pull us away from the unsustainable commodity change. And so that also inspires me to get back to that. That book just inspired about what we were in America. We did more built things and did things ourselves. And that was the other thing that inspired me to do something like this.
I didn't expect to buy this wall hanging that's new to my office. I was playing a gig at an art show in Los Gatos, and guy set up his stuff around where I was playing. And I just looked at this all day. And at first it was kind of dark. It's a female playing guitar in what looks like a very rustic club. And I just kept looking and I kept looking and I got drawing in. And then I was telling myself stories about this woman. And then I was wondering how well she played the guitar and if she could sing and what kind of music she played. And at the end of the day, I gave him $150 and took the painting home.
Wow.
But sometimes it's like this thing's speaking to me, pay for it. The guy created something that's communicating with me.
Right.
Give him some money and take that home.
And it's so much more meaningful. Who made, more about the person who made it.
Well, my wife has a favorite artist in Mendocino, and we go down there, and she spends really big pieces of money for some of that art. So, are you seeing our little town in Marysville becoming an enclave for that kind of tourism?
Well, what I see is we need more tourism, so we need to get better about bringing that tourism here in Marysville. So I do see that. I think Yuba County's getting better at that. They've really done a great job on launching that website and creating more of an atmosphere. For Marysville, to be honest, we need to get better about creating a reason for tourism. So that's a whole nother subject I can come back on the show and talk about.
Okay. Well, how our people get in touch with your people. We'll set that up. Yeah. So that would be an interesting topic.
Yes,
and
indeed.
to make it relevant to our show. And I think that the arts community is trying its best to be interesting and to draw people. But yeah, how we can do that better and how we can create attractions for people, outlying communities coming down from SAC, coming, up from Chico, whatever it may be. That is a conversation that we should have at some point in time.
This building, it's located less than a block from a freeway that goes right through our town from all over.
Yeah.
So that's, one thing I'm thinking of, mural on our wall, upper wall, you could easily see it from the freeway. However, anyways, I don't want to get off topic.
Well, but Kelly, I mean,
right there.
you're absolutely right. It's part of it, and we at Yuba Sutter Arts and Culture have worked on this for years and continue to work on it. It's a matter of collaboration, getting everybody on the same page. We are so siloed in this community, and whether it's art or history or culture, bringing all of these elements together to create ourselves as a cultural tourism destination, with what you're doing, with what the history folks are doing, and that's one of our goals. And whether it's building bronze statues in honor of Cotton Rosser, or painting walls on the mural adjacent to the Buddhist temple, or the Bakai mural, or utility boxes, and celebrating the history. And we've got 10,000 years of history here, and pulling that all together, and we become a destination for those out-of-town tourists that'll come to the art stores, come to the galleries, come to the antique shops, eat in the restaurants. It's lots of other places have done it, and we're going to keep trying, just like you are, and pull it all together.
And working with the college, Yuba College, you got that great sign now out front. That's awesome. Stuff like that. That really helps. It looks. It's really nice.
44,000 vehicles a day. I don't know if you know this number. You may go down E Street every day. Now, those are repeat vehicles many days, but that's a lot of eyeballs. We hope sometimes they look at our digital sign. We'd love for them to turn on 4th Street once in a while, and take that little tour of what's available in historic Marysville.
My name was up there once. Are you telling me that I have an audience now of 44,000 people a day?
Wait. That's
That's
just the one car. There's 2 eyeballs at least on each car.
Okay. You're right. 88,000 fans.
Times 30 days. The typical
not counting the people in the back seat. Yeah.
Now you just got to get them to stop. So I think you need to stand on top of the sign, Tom, and play the car, and then maybe they'll stop.
This way. Turn
Kelly,
this way.
you have the best ideas.
Absolutely.
You have the most practical ideas. So how are the artists responding? You mentioned that some of the people you knew about, and you invited them in, and they were anxious to do it. Are you getting interest from other artists? What's the process there?
We're actually not really going out and looking right now. Because what we need right now is more help, because I only do this part-time and everybody works full-time. So we don't want just any artists. Good question. So we don't want just any artists. What we're trying to create here is a look of nice, quality, but diverse art and handcraft and makers products. So we don't want just any artist. So first we're looking for nice quality art. Okay. This other thing is we want artists that are engaged and want to be involved in helping make this happen. Because right now I basically started as a nonprofit with the other 2 women. But what's the thing we got sent from the government?
Our checks, our
What do they call
Taxes?
taxes, yes. Oversight.
Not taxes. None of us can think of it. The
reimbursement check,
the stipend, or any
I
of that
see.
stuff?
Nobody can think of it.
You're talking about your nonprofit letter from the government?
No, when they gave out the money for.
Was it CARES or the American Rescue Act?
Yeah.
Anyways,
American Rescue. Stimulus. We have that.
Stimulus.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. No, it's Linda Lee. Linda did that.
Thank you.
Anyways, I used my stimulus check to stimulate Marysville. Okay, so I started it with that, but anyways, in order to be open hours, we need more open hours to sell more. We're only open on Saturday right now. We need to be open more, but so we need artists. If they're going to be here, they need to work at the shop or be open and do other things, website manage, all David, and you guys all know all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that you got to do. So basically we're focused more on classes instead of adding more artists. We're open to adding more artists if they fit our criteria, which is responsible, want to help, and like I already mentioned, diverse. We are needing like a metal artist, which I'm actually talking to one right now, Dan Turner, who is the welding instructor at the college, who if I
Knowing well.
yeah, so I'm thinking that he, can be our metal artist here. The other one is wood. We need some different wood products would be nice. So we want just diverse products. So we have a little of everything, and just nice quality stuff is what our goal is. And then to teach different classes. So some artists may not want, there might be people out there right now that want to have the experience and expertise to teach a class. So we'd be interested in talking with them. And so that would be good as well, because the community was really excited about that know about us. We're like kept secret right now, mainly because it's not, we don't have enough help getting out there, getting the word out. I'm running the Facebook and I'm not very good at it, and the website. We created a website and we're slowly making that better. But we're focused right now more on the classes. The shop's kind of set up and going well. We just need to be open more. And so to have that, we need
patrons.
Well, you're kind of running a co-op like we did. I think maybe one of the first times I met you, you were on the board of directors at the Yuba Sutter Arts Council back in the day. And at that time, we had the Art of Culture space, which is now Sissy's Attic, and it was a co-op. There must have been, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 15 artists in there that would take a turn staffing the place, and I think that's what you're talking about. So you get these artists to come in and put in a few hours a week.
Before we started this, of course, I looked at all different types of business plans on how other people are doing it, so I can speak to that a little bit. But I looked at all local places around us, how they did it, and of course I had that to get information from. And normally they have your artist paying a monthly fee. They have them working a lot of hours in the shop. Mm-hmm. And I forget, there's a third thing I'm just not blanking out on. But they have to be able to, but I'm looking at it, I have to do it for our location and for our artists. It doesn't make sense for them to pay a monthly fee if they're not selling enough to pay that monthly fee. Yeah. So I'm not just saying, here's what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. I really want it to be more of the artists to take charge and figure out and do a plan that works for everybody, so that's kind of where we're at. We have something in place, but we're going to expand on it.
So that's what we've done with the Theater Art Gallery at the Sutter Theater Center for the Arts. We're bringing back the resident artists. Yep. And they're required to work. We're not charging a fee, but they have to staff it. Yep. Because Yuba Sutter Arts staff are already at our maximum capacity, so it doesn't work unless the artists put in the time to be there and represent their products as well as the other artists. So
there was Jan Frink was part of the group that was in there last year.
Sure.
And so they were actually very proud of that. All of the people that worked, I hope they all volunteered again. But that was an entirely volunteer-run gallery. Mm-hmm. Very commendable.
And they sell. That's a pretty hot little corridor there.
You just remind me of another thing. When I was looking for artists, the other thing I didn't pick any artists that already had a retail space. So I looked for an artist that wasn't presently showing anywhere. That was the other thing, because I didn't want to take an artist from another place, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So are your artists prohibited from doing a guest spot on our galleries, or
what's that?
So if I want to bring Karen Folk into the theater gallery as a guest artist, is that not allowed?
No, that's
oh, okay.
No, I'm saying when we were picking artists to be here representative, I didn't want to pull them. That was just me. I mean, they can do that.
Sure.
Kelly, we want to show some of the pictures here that you sent us, but I also want to highlight something you said earlier that maybe we kind of passed over. you got your stimulus check that you invested in this project. So you've got skin in the game. You've made a commitment here of money, and so I think it's worth saying, you know, if the local community wants to enhance the value of this local community, make us attractive to tourists, we all have to invest something to buy a work of art, to go to a show, to do something. But you put money in the game here, and we've also talked about artists, spending time in the studios. So if it's not money you're spending money to up our profile, are you offering your hours? Can you give your time to this? And so, yeah, I do hope you can keep it open longer hours, but that's going to be contingent on how much the artists want to not only push their own art, but have art raise its profile in the community. So I really just want to applaud you for the money you invested in this, and for saying you could use this money for a vacation or something else, and you did it to support the arts. And so we're inviting other people, especially the artists that want their stuff shown, to do what they can to support Kelly in this project.
Yeah, we do have a website, and we have a donate button if anyone would like to donate, and that would be awesome. So we do that. I'm just not really good at asking for money. But
Well,
they're interested.
It's an art form. I'm here to tell you.
I have a friend, Paul Demerit. He said, "Never pass up the chance to pass around the hat."
Yeah, absolutely. So should we see some of the things that you sent us so we can look at here visually?
Sure. This is a. I wish I could have sent. I have more I could send. We do classes. I'm just going to kind of some of the classes we had. This is a class on urban sketch that was taught by our local person that is Stuart Gilchrist, taught urban sketch, and that was just last week. And we also last week had watercolor class with Leslie Grenitz, and that was terrific. I don't know if I don't know. Oh, that's the shop. There are pictures. I don't know what you.
Can I highlight something?
Sure.
I see the postcards in the front. That's Sue Grau's, largely
Yes.
a lot of Sue Grau's wonderful
All taken
photography.
local. Yeah, those are all local photography. They're fabulous. So we have those at the shop. We have jewelry made. We have Karen Folk, who's does both clay sculptures, and you can see her painting as an oil. The one actually it's behind me right now too. She just taught a class. I don't know if it's on. We have
pictures coming up of the sculpting class.
She just taught there it is, a sculpt a face class. She came up with this idea where if you've been in the shop, she has these incredible sculptures of people on the wall. She's changed them out, but let's see she just changed them out. But she had she had Ray Charles. She had
Is that the chef?
The little ones. She had Janis Joplin. Did anybody see Janis Joplin while she was in here? It was awesome. So these are all of us were first time, and look at how incredible these faces came out.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Look at that.
Tongue sticking out. Very nice.
Oh, Toby! Yes.
So on the Facebook, you can see the after we paint them. If you go on the Facebook, you can see the after pictures.
Wow! How cool!
And then we also sell, and somebody, I think Tom made the comment, we sell quilts. And I agree with Tom. Quilts to me are art, but you talk to the quilters and they say we are no artists, but I think they are. But that's why if you want to say they're makers, then I think that's the term that they would fall under, makers.
I have a quilter in my house, and when she gets down to the nitty gritty, the rulers and the protractors and the sketching and the math involved in making a quilt is incredible.
And the way they have to put colors together, I mean, they're just phenomenal. I just love looking at that. And they also make, we also have Tina Linville, who makes hand loomed beautiful scarves and petite scarves.
We've worked with Karen Folk on a number of projects. She helped us get the utility box project started in Yuba City.
Yes. Is this hers? Is that hers?
The Roosters at Winco and the Happy Cow up by Bel Air and several others. The calla lilies behind you, Lily, that's behind you.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Gala lilies behind you, Kelly, were actually one of the utility box designs. I forget its location, but it's on a utility box out there. Karen's worked with us on a number of other murals.
Karen's going to be doing characters. We're doing a historical, I don't just skip to event and come back to it since you brought up Karen. We're participating in Fall into the Arts, which is the first Saturday of November 6th. And Karen's going to be doing characters that day. So you can come get your character done for $5 or $10. And Jan Frank is going to be demonstrating fused glass. And Dan Turner, welding instructor from Yuba College, is going to be setting up a plasma cutting demonstration in front of the Sierra Central Bank.
Wow.
So that's going to be quite exciting events. That's again, that's Saturday, November 6th.
My face is a caricature.
And the gallery's going to be open that day, and Sew and Peace, of course, is open that day, and she's having an event for quilt. So your wife might want to go, Joe.
Yeah. What time? It's actually my mother-in-law that's the quilter.
My
My wife's made one quilt. That's mine.
She opens at 10 on Saturday.
Thank you. How about the demonstrations? What time are those?
Demonstration. I'm not sure what time she's going to be setting up. We're actually having a meeting tomorrow, but for sure I would say by 11.
Cool.
Or
Speaking of Marysville, this is
11 to 3.
Okay.
this is a mural inside the River Valley Community Bank. We hired Karen Folk to create this mural, which is kind of a homage to Marysville. A lot of Marysville historic buildings there are pictured in the letters and people. Mary Murphy and James Beckworth and all those buildings. So that's a beautiful mural just inside the bank there. So
Yeah.
very talented.
This is a class that's coming up this Thursday. If there's still space, and it's really it's our abstract acrylic, so you can see the little ones are small ones. They're like this big. You make these small little ones. You're going to make like 5 of them, and they're abstract acrylics. And this you don't have to have any experience, so you can be a total beginner. And it's going to be working with acrylic paints. And then you can take your favorite one and enlarge it, and then add a face or a figure to it.
Wow.
And that's at 5:30 on Thursday. And it's really a great price, you guys, $25, and she includes all the supplies.
What's the capacity for classes, Kelly, typically?
Well, yeah, we haven't had to worry too much about filling up because we're such a secret, but we have actually the first class that Leslie taught was probably close to capacity, I would say. I think it was 15.
Wow, that's great.
We're just trying to space people out, though.
Yeah, she's got a following. That's great. Good.
Yeah, that's
to
good.
hear.
Kelly and gentlemen, we're getting to the point now where we have to wind this down because Dave,
Wait, that's Stuart.
I know
say
it's
something
Stuart.
about
Hello,
Stuart.
Stuart, that's a great way to. And he was awesome. That was last Friday, urban sketch class. I think the next one there's our sketches.
Is that the Hart Building?
That is, you recognized it,
Yay!
That's where we started the show. We used to do
That's
it
right, up there at 93Q.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun class. And I can't draw. I draw I tell people that the only people that can recognize my drawings is my mother, because I draw like a kindergartner. So it was fun. But here's see, I have mine laying right here. As a matter of fact, there's the one I did.
Very
You're
nice.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah. No, that really does. Kelly, actually, that does kind of suck.
Hey,
I like it. How about this?
No.
turn it into a postcard and sell it in the rack.
I love it.
I think Stuart should do his works on postcards, and we should sell his postcards.
I agree.
Of each of the buildings, the historical buildings downtown.
Yeah, when he goes to San Francisco and just sketches for fun, those are amazing.
Yeah.
So when all the tourists come to town, they'll have an affordable piece of art to take home, like a postcard. Like that's what I buy at the art gallery. So.
Kelly Ridge Creek, you're a treasure for this town to possess, and you're doing so many wonderful things. Thanks for turning that stimulus check into a donation for the advancement of the arts in our community. That's great. That's excellent. And so thanks for joining us today.
And not just me, it's, it is a group effort. It's just that I committed to starting it. I said, everybody was working full time, and I said, all right, I'll start it. But thanks, Tom. You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll be seeing you around the neighborhood, Kelly.
Kelly.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ellie. It was great to have you on. Thanks.
Good to see you. Well, that was fun. Doing great things.
Very fun. Lots of things going on that she's engendering here. So good for her. David, you got just about enough time to give us a calendar. What's happening
just a
here?
couple of things here, but yeah, we understand what Kelly's concerned about. She's closer to the main drag than we are, but you're a little bit off the beaten path. What we need is that wine bar or something to keep people there. They do their shopping, they take a class, then there's the little snacky wine bar thing, or just something.
Yeah, we got it in the morning. I mean, the brick is right around the corner, so we got the morning crowd.
They close so early, though.
They close so early that it's not doing much for our night.
I say in the morning crowd, that coffee drinking. Yeah.
Well, and they know what's best for their business, but it doesn't add to our nightlife at all.
No.
And that's a shame. But I understand other entrepreneurs are going to have to come in and help provide some nightlife. And
I could see though, the Mendocino art crawl as I do every time we go there. Lori and I go all the way down and back up, and we visit all those little stores. I could totally see Marysville pulling that off.
We did one a couple of years ago. I don't know how Mendocino does it. It was the bigger one was on Plymouth Street because there were just a lot more places to go. But the idea of an art crawl, and Abby's got some ideas to reinvent it, bring it back to Marysville. But you position, you have the art galleries like Kelly's area, but then you can pre-position artists in other non-art spaces. We finished up at the Brick. We had an artist there. In fact, it was Max Komisarchik.
That's the one.
And you go on a route and visit these artists, have a little snack, a little drink at each location, and it
was a lot of fun. And I believe they sold some pieces on that whole thing as well. So
I'm sure.
I met our good friend Carolyn Sasaki at that night at that thing. So that's been that good friend that Gay and I had made, and so that's another aspect of this is.
It's got to be social, right?
Make a new friend. We just started talking and we all clicked and we kind of had similar senses of humor, and now we got a new friend. So get out behind your TV and get out and move into the world and meet some people and have.
But those kind of events, I know the Chamber of Commerce is working on some things in Marysville, trying to extend their reach. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Lots of great things coming up. Of course, our ongoing virtual events. But just as far as live things, we're pretty excited about next month, November, Veterans Day and all on November 11th. But we've got a great gallery show planned for our Marysville gallery, and that's featuring the work of Aaron Burks. Aaron's been on a grant project for us this last year. Excuse me. It's called Sleeping Giants. We've had him on the show before. Pearl Harbor survivors then and now. He's just returned from another trip around the country, meeting another 6 or 7 Pearl Harbor survivors, servicemen that were there that day, who have stories to tell. And he gets a photograph of them back then in the 40s during their time in service, and then meets them in person. Of course, during COVID, these 90-some-year-olds didn't want to meet with some stranger, but they've trusted him, and he's come back in, and he's got a whole new group of portraits he's working on. So he takes their photos from then and now and turns them into line drawings and then oil paintings. Aaron's going to have a whole gallery exhibit about this project for the month of November. So watch for that.
He was just up in Gridley last weekend.
Yep. You saw him?
Yeah. Well, I saw his work. I didn't see him, but I saw his work there.
Oh, good.
And they were speaking of him and stuff. So yeah.
Well, he's just a great artist, not only a portraitist, but he does beautiful maritime seascapes.
This is a mission for him. He's on a mission here. Somebody takes very seriously.
We were so happy to get a grant to support him in this work, kind of like we did for Tina Linville at the at the 414 Gallery with the project she did this last year, the art mentorship program, and had a couple of gallery shows. So yeah, we're excited to do this work and collaborate with local artists to support them. So this will be a tremendous November exhibit. And also with Aaron in the gallery, we'll have Chris Thompson, another veteran artist who will be in there with his ceramics.
Yes.
He's now blending ceramics and metals for some of his bowls and other sculptures that he makes. So it's some really, really beautiful stuff. So
wow.
And they'll both be giving a talk in the theater about their work. Of course, Joe, you know, they collaborated with us on the project you were involved with this last year, the pop-up Veterans Art Project, as we call it. We created videos interviewing you and Aaron and Chris about their art and what that's meant to them after their time, active duty time. So
it's hugely powerful. That's a great organization. Huge.
No, we're so excited. Yeah. So that's coming up. That's November. And then in the gallery, the theater gallery at Sutter Theater Center for the Arts, we're welcoming back some of the resident artists that worked there for so many years. So Roz Bliss, Louisa Ledger, Paul Spoto's coming back, and then we're also adding Leela Rivera.
Leela.
Oh, yay.
Our very own
so
Leela.
A little bit of the younger generation coming in.
Love to see that.
Is her husband interested in doing anything?
Not currently. You know, he's got a full-time job too. Speaking of having to work full-time and fit your art in where you can.
Oh yeah.
But we want to get Randy involved because he does those portraits, those large portraits that he does like in 2 hours. So it's always great, and we'll certainly get Randy out to do some more of that work for us. November is also a time for younger, and we call it the emerging art show in December. This is the opportunity for folks still kind of finding their way in their artwork to have the opportunity to display in a gallery setting. So we need emerging artists to submit their work by Thursday, November 18th and Friday, November 19th. So the 18th and 19th of November, get in touch with Yuba Sutter Arts if you want to be part of that show. We've been doing it annually for several years. Bring your artwork in. The only qualification is you're kind of testing the waters. You've achieved something. You have some work to show, sell if you'd like. And we'd love to have you a part of that exhibit in our gallery in December. But get the work into us mid-December.
Is there a piece limit on that, David? How many pieces?
Two or three pieces, depending on the size, as long as they're not, huge. We'll work with you. Come talk to us or get in touch with us, and we'll take it from there. Tom, do you want to touch on some of your programs for November? You've got spoken word, open mic, and solo sessions and.
Solo sessions. We'll be doing that actively. And the guest is yet to be determined. One guest has fallen off.
That's November 27th.
I'll have that all firmed up this week. At Christmas time, I'm going to be doing some kind of special Christmas presentation. And I haven't quite scripted it yet, but we're going to, like we always do with songwriters, but the theme is going to be the Christmas songs that you love. Kind of like the show that I did 4 or 5 years ago, where I had the whole Christmas sing-along.
Can we do a bouncing ball?
Yeah, we did all that, and then we had the graphics up, the art. Right. We had pictures of people from the 17th century, and there's backstories, and then we'd all sing the song, and it was pretty fun. So some kind of stripped down version of that I'm going to be doing for the slam, for the songwriters showcase. But yeah, those are going well. We had in the spoken word open mic last month, we had people from around the country because Shantae was able to up our profile by linking us to a wider network of people who are looking for open mics, and a man from Boston, another woman from Denver, and we had some great poets from around the country. So kind of exciting stuff going on there. We certainly want more locals to show up. And so just you're always welcome. We're kind of refining these shows and rebuilding them as we go, but keep us in mind.
Yeah, go to YubaSutterArts.org and just look at all the things we're offering, both virtually and more live events that now that we're able to open. Again, we do have a COVID policy in place. We're following arts leaders in the Northern California area as well as around the state. Yes, you have to bring a mask or we'll provide one for you. And yes, you have to be vaccinated. And if you're not, you do need to show proof of vaccination. And in the interest of, honesty and openness, we have upset a few people. We try to publicize this widely, but please, work with us. We don't like it any more than the public does. It's awkward. It's irritating, but it's part of the deal. We've got to keep everybody safe.
David, I wanted to add before we're off that Kelly texted us other art in Marysville downtown, Creative Flow Institute across from the Artist Nook and Peacock Gallery on D Street. So I wanted to get that in.
Skip's music as well.
Skip's music as well.
As long as we're piling on, Tri-County Diversity down at D Street and 2nd also has a beautiful art gallery in the lobby of their space.
Don't forget the Mary Aaron Museum.
Mary Aaron,
that's right.
So much art around this town.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know Kelly wanted
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
YubaSutterArts.org. Keep track of it. Go out, be artful, support live art events, galleries, classes, theater performances, and just be part of it.
See you next month, everybody. Thanks, you guys. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.